When you were a child, did anyone ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? If so, what did you answer? For most of us, we had these big dreams, these wild imaginations that just flooded us with limitless opportunities. Our imaginations were free and we were unburdened by what we could accomplish and by the limits that the world places on us. Somewhere along the line, we have stopped dreaming. So at what point along the way did life become this list of things that you should do? We've shoulded ourselves to death, I guess. All right, so today we're going to do it a little different. We're going to tell you the secret of how you can have it all and the simple way to go about it and have more in your day. More that you love and more that you actually want to do. Welcome back to My Mother's Daughter podcast, where we choose to focus on the controllables, jump off the hamster wheel of grief, and take steps to honoring our loved ones by living a life filled with gratitude, joy, and abundance. It's time to get stubborn about what we want and choose to lean into who we were meant to be, while drinking too much caffeine, owning way more workout pants than we'd like to admit, and dreading that nightly dinner talk almost as much as waking up early. You feel me, sister? I'm Angel McElhaney, motherless daughter, positive psychology junkie, and not so master juggler of my crazy crew. And I believe that you can heal and find happiness after loss. So grab that coffee, put down that to-do list, and let's get to work. One day at a time, together. Let's get started with today's show. Welcome back to another episode of My Mother's Daughter podcast. Today we have Angela Ferari. She's a belief coach in the Philadelphia area, and she helps women dream bigger and take inspired action using law of attraction tools. And is a married mommy with 2 young boys, and she is full of energy, and we are so excited to hear what you are so passionate about. Angela, welcome to the show.
Hi, Angel. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here. First off, why don't you tell us your story, a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Angela. I have 2 young boys. They are 5 and 7. I am married and I work full time. I also have a business where I help women dream bigger, take inspired action, and we do this through vision board workshops. So I come to you with all the material that you need to dream bigger and really just make the time to think about what you desire, what your needs are at that time, and a great day of empowerment.
I love that. And I love that it seems like we used to at some point, like even thinking about when we were kids, like we used to dream, like at some point, when did that fall off? Like what is this work or vision casting or dreamlining, and how can we get that back?
Oh, you're so right. And yeah, even as a mom, and I know you can relate, we tell our children, hey, use your imagination, right? Like when they're bored or, when they're restless, use your imagination. So as an adult, we can use our imagination too. And one way to do that is just to make the time for yourself to dream. So that can be through visualization. And when we're creating a vision board, we're really dreaming up the things that we want in our life, and doesn't have to be things that are in front of us. We can go through magazines, we can read, we can, browse online. And if we're attracted to these things, there's a way for us to work on bringing that into fruition.
So you might be a mom if whenever you were talking about imagination, I literally thought of the episode of SpongeBob where he's like, imagination, and it's above his head and he makes a little rainbow.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And I do think that for some reason it is kind of attached to this idea that you are dreaming isn't a actual tool or something that is tangibly important, almost like your head's in the clouds, you need to be a realist and all that. And I feel like this is really valuable work for your mindset. So I'm going to let you have the floor and just explain to us, like, what is this law of attraction and how do you decide what to focus on? Like, there's so many things pulling for our attention. What exactly, or what's on your vision board, or how do you set that up?
Sure. So law of attraction, it really is the ability to attract in our lives whatever we decide. So, that includes our thoughts and our emotions, because that's what becomes our experience. So simply put, that is like attracts like. So the more positive things that we have around us, people, places, and things, the more that we're going to bring in. And unfortunately, that's the same thing with negativity. So one way that I decide on what I want to manifest and get clear is through journaling. And that is one way that I start my workshop, is a lot of reflection. So, I ask, okay, a lot of people, they're like, well, this sounds like a great tool, but I don't know what I want. I don't know, what I need. And I always say, well, ask yourself this question, ask yourself, what would give me fulfillment? What would make me fulfilled? And what are my desires? And I say, right now, what are your desires? Because we know things can change. Our visions can change. So that's some of the reflection that we begin with. And then it's really a goal setting tool. So we go through goals, and I'm not sure if you are familiar, but it's called the SMART goal setting tool. And we go through that. So this is all before we start creating our vision board. So let's go over SMART goals. So S stands for specific. What do you want? What is your clear end goal? M is for measurable. How will you measure your progress? A is for attainable. What are the tasks that need to be done to accomplish this goal? R, relevancy. Why is this goal important? And T is time bound. Give yourself a deadline, but then also celebrate when you accomplish this. So this is really the framework before we start creating, and it's fun. It is meant to be fun. This is not meant to be stressful, but it's really creating a space to be inspired. So you do not need to be in a group setting for you to create your vision. This could be something that you want to do alone, or you want to do one-on-one with a coach. Not everyone likes sharing their dreams and their visions, and that's okay. And I really feel like a lot of people need to know that, because we see online and we see in groups that people are really putting what they desire out there. I particularly like doing that because I feel like the universe hears us. But there's some people that want to do that alone, and that's okay. So create the space that you're most comfortable with.
It does seem like there is something about putting it out there, almost like you're declaring it, which I think is so valuable. So I wonder if it might be valuable if they share it with someone, just maybe not on such a large platform, like, let your husband know about it, or maybe speak to a friend about it, or even at least just take a picture of it or post it where you can see it or something like that, so you can refer back. I think that's so valuable. So just to reiterate, whenever they're doing kind of the brain dumping where they're thinking, what do I want? What are my desires? What do I want? I just thought of the Notebook. What do you want?
Yeah, yeah, great one. Yeah.
So think really big, but then kind of break it down into those smart goals, to where it kind of has those smaller steps, actionable steps that you can move towards. So I love that. So the first tier is goals, and then basically, how are you going to achieve it? It's kind of like making your plans, which I love. And then I do think that there is a great further energy that I really think that I need in my life, and that is like, how can I use this to contribute? Because I think a lot of people almost feel selfish if they talk about their goals and how, their dreams, like almost like too much about them. But really, this really could help them contribute like largely on a scale, like make your impact bigger in the world, which I think is so awesome.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And that could be part of your why you're doing, why these goals are so important to you, which is the R in SMART of relevancy. Yeah, because there may be a charity, maybe, it's money, people, and that is the number one thing that people want to manifest is money, and not in a greedy way, but in a way that if there's a charity or a nonprofit that you want to donate to, you're able to do that. so you're able to help your community. Also, this may help you step away from your full-time job, which is giving you freedom to donate your time to these places that could use your help. So, understanding the why behind these goals is really important for our mindset.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think that role piece of who you could become is so, so, so awesome. All right. And I know you mentioned celebrate. So there is that part, like it needs to have something in it for yourself. Otherwise, you're really not going to be motivated to push ahead when things get a little bit hard. And I know you mentioned journaling. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So journaling is a huge part of my day. I do aim to journal each morning, but sometimes it may move into the afternoon depending on, my schedule. I do run journaling groups. This is all online where I teach women just how to make it a habit. There's no right or wrong way to journal, but one way that I love using journaling with that goes with law of attraction is through scripting. So scripting is writing out your day, your month, your year as if it has already happened. So it already happened, but you wrote it out as the way that you want it to be, being super specific.
I love that. And I'm actually in a mastermind right now, and we are using this same exact tool. So I love that this actually is used all throughout, like
Yes.
on a small scale, personally just for you, but also that larger scale. And I've actually started doing art journaling, which I love. And I think that that could be another outlet for people to do this, like almost like draw a picture. Like, what does it look like?
Oh, I love that. So, yes, I love that. If I was an artist, I would definitely go towards that.
Well, on that note, what is the thing that you wanted, like, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Yeah, so growing up, I wanted to be a nurse. That was always my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned to teacher. So it was always in the field of helping. Never went through with the teaching or the nursing.
Well,
and
it sounds like you are
okay
teaching people and you are helping them. So it sounds like you're using a lot of those same skills. So it definitely can evolve. Mine was artist when I was a kid. And so it definitely pivot into new things and evolve for sure. But I just love that we didn't think about what was realistic when we were kids. Like we just kind of, you think really big. I mean, that imagination piece and that like sky's the limit, and didn't limit ourselves based on what we thought could happen. I actually got my degree to be a teacher, and I know that one large part of that is that in high school I had a teacher who was amazing, and actually I hope to have her on the podcast soon, but she would travel a lot with these big groups. And I thought like, that's amazing. But you know what? It's not really realistic for me to just like go travel the world. So I need a job that I can have those summers to go travel the world. So it was like, you try to like contort it to fit versus manifest it. And like, we're so limited. So take away the limits.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So I know that you have a personal story of loss that has kind of guided you to really want to heal and think bigger. And so could you share a little bit about your story?
Yeah. So, I had two sons, and before my first son was born in 2012, I experienced two miscarriages. So of course I was in a funk. I was hopeless, and I didn't feel like it was going to happen for me. I brought my husband to fertility doctors. We both went. I was tracking everything. I was really like obsessive over, getting pregnant after them two losses. So because I was in this funk, and I was always like a optimistic person. And my husband said, look, he knew about law of attraction. So he introduced me to the book, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. So I read that book, and I started practicing what they were teaching, which are mindset hacks of, practicing gratitude, practicing visualization and really just stepping into a more positive mindset during this time of grieving. I quickly became pregnant with my first son after reading that book. And, so grateful. I ended up having my second son 2 years later. So after all this time, being a mother and being, working full time in the corporate world, I was becoming like a drain rather than a fountain that I knew I had and wanted to be. So I started listening to Kathy Heller's podcast, Don't Keep Your Day Job. And after listening to that, I said, hey, I did a lot of reflection. What has helped me in the past that I can help other people? I knew I always wanted to do more, always wanted to be more. And that's when I started my business of, teaching other women how to use law of attraction.
I love that. And it actually is on Netflix too now, or it used to, because that's where I saw like their little special on The Secret. And
Yes.
similar to you, with the gratitude piece, it's almost like you let the world know that you want to heal or you want to feel better. I swear. It's like,
yes.
it was at TJ Maxx, like a gratitude journal that I found. I remember it was like a cream. I remember exactly what it looked like. It was like an orange color with some gold flower on it, and it said gratitude, and it had these prompts. And I remember sitting outside and just being like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this. And it had even like, just say one thing that you like think or that you're grateful for that is beautiful today, or like find something beautiful today. So it almost makes you search for that good thing.
It does. Like even when we're experiencing loss, we still have so many other great things that are around us, but it's dark. It's a dark place and we're not seeing clear, So it's nice when we're able to have that reflection.
I just did an episode with Adit, and it's really good on being soul tired. And that word just resonated with me so much because you just feel like to your bones and to your core that you're just so just tired, like everything's so draining. Yeah. And I do think this, that analogy you said about being a drain and not a fountain, that totally speaks into that. So just turning that around and putting it on its head, really, to where you're putting out so much good that it has to almost bounce back, right?
Yeah, it did.
All right. Well, I love that all the tips that you've shared with us, and I really want to thank you for hopping on here and sharing your story. I think that your story is one that's going to help so many people.
So sorry for your loss, Angel, and I think what you're doing is just so beautiful.
Thank you for that. And same to you. I feel like you don't even notice like how much loss is around you until it happens to you. You just have no clue. Like you're just almost going about your day, because we're just so egocentrical that we don't even notice. Which I know we spoke a little bit about that. Fake it till you make it versus, what were you saying that you called it?
Yeah, I use just act as if.
Okay, I love that, because it's almost like, I think you will be kinder to that future self too. Like you're not going to tell her, that future self that you're thinking of, like, oh, that's too far-fetched. Like she's already there. So it's almost like, think about that person and how they feel and how they like act and really who they become, because then you can take those steps to getting there. So
that's right.
All right. Well, I would like to thank you again, and then let me know, like, where can we find you?
Yeah, I am on Instagram. That is where I hang out often. It's Angela_Ferari, or you can visit me on my website at pppvisions.com.
And then if they would like to do a vision board, like, we're not where you're at. Like, is that a virtual experience? Like, are they, if they're not in Philadelphia, are they able to still participate in doing that? Or do you give them the tools
I'm working on? No, it's a great question, Angel. It's something that I am working on to make it more virtual. Since I am in the Philadelphia area, I do travel. So if anybody has any exciting events coming up, I will be happy to to go to their site. One way that I connect with women all over the world is through Facebook groups where I teach the journaling. So the journaling prompts, law of attraction, and, how to make journaling a habit. So that is the one way that I'm connecting with women all over the world.
So if they decide to work with you, I'll definitely link all that in the show notes so that they can find you and so that they can get their own vision out. You really have to know where you want to go and envision yourself there so that you can make it.
That's right.
So that you can make it there. So thanks again. And I look forward to making my own dream board. I've talked about it and it's been a while since I've had one. My word for this year is focus. So maybe that's what I need to do next. So.
Yes, you can do it. Yeah.
So if they want to do one on their own though, so they should basically kind of brain dump and then go through like all of the SMART goals, possibly draw a picture if they are more artistic and wants to do that. And then that scripting piece where they can write out their day, maybe even the smells, like use all the, what
very
smells
specific.
do you hear, your smell? What do you hear? Like,
what kind of coffee are you drinking in the morning? What kind of sheets are on your bed? What kind of music is playing? Yeah.
Who just finished cleaning my house? That's not me. That's what I want to add in there.
Oh, I like that one.
So, and then do you use magazines and stuff, physical things, right?
I do. Yeah. So I use canvas board, a 16 by 20 canvas board. You can get them at like Michael's. Do you have a Michael's near you?
Oh yeah, we have Michael's.
Yeah.
I get in trouble there.
I love Michael's. Oh yeah. So I get their canvas boards, and then any magazines that inspire you, grab some of them. And then you can also, if there are specific things, like there may be things that you have in your home right now that you want to put on your board. You may have pictures, words, anything that's symbolic to you that you may want to put on there. And then, of course, you can print pictures, online.
I love that. Okay. So I need to make one. So, all right. Well, I look forward to seeing all of your vision boards on Instagram. You can find me at angel.mcilhaney. Check out the show notes for my crazy last name. And I think you should also find Angela so that you can tag her and show her your awesome work too. I look forward to it. I think they'll turn out great. I'm excited to see them. We can manifest it for them too, right? If we see it.
Absolutely. I will throw all my positive energy. I will share it in my stories and all that fun stuff.
I love it. Well, that's all we have for today, but I just want to remind you that you are strong, you are capable, and you can do the hard stuff. You are your mother's daughter. Until next time, wishing you joy and abundance, Angel.